100 shirts for only $395. 20 shirts for only $100.
Greenleaf Printing and Designs has stupendous signage, printed and embroidered apparel, and promotional products for you. They're at 5526 Burkhart Road in Dayton and on the web at greenleafprinting.com.
Dayton, but it's in our society where there's only a few people that actually speak up on things. And I know that as Americans in a democracy, we all have opinions on things, but it seems outside of the local realm, you can talk about anything on state and national, but when you're talking about local politics, everyone gets say how I feel, because, I might fix something in my life, because, someone that I know might be like, hey man, that's cool what you said about Nan Whaley. But really, if we can't talk about these things, we can't have a democracy.
If we can't talk about things, we can't solve problems.
If we can't criticize, now that doesn't mean calling everyone a poopy butt head.
Or hey, you're fatso, or
you're
whatever.
Jerk.
Yeah.
No, that means being open, honest critics.
Critical questioning.
Yeah. And questioning only means that we want things to get better, And if you can't question yourself, number one, if you can't question, you can't tell the truth. If you can't be a critic, you can't tell the truth. You can't be a truth teller to begin with. Can I say that again? If you can't be a critic, an honest critic, a constructive critic, you also cannot tell the truth. And so Dayton, it's time we all started getting up our criticism bugs, not name calling, honest, good old-fashioned, objective criticism and citizen input. It's good for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's like oatmeal for the body politic.
Cleansing.
Yes. Yeah, it is. I got a big boy here. I'm a big boy. Welcome to issue number 2, version 0.2, episode 2, number 2.
2 and 2.
Yeah. Of.
Name that show.
Name this show. We're going to name a prize. But until then, we'd like to hear some names for this goofy show that we're filming right now. Or we'd like to hear some names for this show. Whatever you got, we'd like to hear them. The final moments of the Titanic. What other names might be appropriate?
If I knew, we'd have a name for the show.
Exactly. So name this show. The news this week has been aflutter with controversy. It's been worse before with controversy, but it seems like things people are talking about are this guy's plan. He came out on, when was it?
Tuesday, Wednesday. Today's Wednesday.
Yeah, I think it was Monday. Monday. On WDTN. We've got the video link down here below. You can check it out. And his proposal was essentially to raise 6 buildings and then take down the vacancy commercial rate by you get rid of all these office buildings and build a big condominium on Deeds Point and get a lot of people who look like they come from the maybe like I know I'm behind the times, whatever the modern day version of 90210 is. And then they're going to live in a condominium at Deeds Point.
Yeah.
And
sure
it brought up a lot. I'm sorry. It brought up a lot of talk flashpoints for us.
What's the guy's name?
David McDonald.
David McDonald's idea is to bring down 6 of the major tall buildings downtown. Key Bank was one, a couple of them right down Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
And it will miraculously reduce the vacancy rate by half.
He didn't say miraculously. He
well,
said I can get it turned around.
Well, right, but of course if you tear down buildings, then you don't have the occupancy rate that you had, or the vacancy rate that you had before, because the building's not there anymore. So that's an easy way to cut some numbers. But I liked one comment on Facebook that said that he could, the easy way to cut the unemployment rate is to kill 20 million people or so. Yeah, that's an easy way. I think it would.
You have lowered the unemployment rate.
We've talked about Dayton people in Dayton having a feeling of being hopeless. Our downtown is a pretty sad scene for the most part.
Yeah, we interviewed a guy yesterday who was like, "Yeah, man, I can't get a job." I mean, he was an ex-convict, but
he paid his dues. The punishment.
He paid his dues. He was in prison. I think that's about the truth for any, ex-convict. You do your time, come back, and if you're willing to work, we don't need to punish these people till the end of eternity.
But that's a different story.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if we take down those major buildings, it's going to look like
West Virginia Mountain Dew mouth.
I mean, jagged, gaping holes.
Yeah. Like what I would call, we call typhosis.
Exactly.
Like a mouthful of typhosis.
So that doesn't, visually that doesn't look good. That's not very inspiring. And then the other thing, to put a big condo village or whatever, I don't really know what the whole thing is.
It looked like a super postmodern rendering of like something you would see where like people who look like stock photography models.
Yeah, stock
stock
photography families where they live. I think people choose to live in a city because they want that urban feeling of having warehouse, loft type feelings, and just an urban feeling, and not necessarily looking for a suburban house in the city. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like they want the green to be downtown, but that's not what a city is. And I don't want downtown to look like the suburbs or to be the green.
Yeah, and that's like there's something no one's willing to talk about right now. It's like we've got suburbs filled with big, empty, boring, hulking boxes,
cheaply built, cheap
and
materials.
strip malls, and this isn't something we really want to import to the cities, let alone to the rest of the world. And the whole, I can go on and on about how expensive the massive outlay of our built environment is, but it's not better than like what it's replacing. It's like if you're going to replace something with something better, yeah, but if it's just like a kind of a big boxy, douchebaggy looking mall type structure, and then you lose a lot of historic character.
Yeah, you lose a sense of place.
How hard would it be to fill these places up with apartments and condos and like large lofts, like artist lofts? Say like, you've got a floor of one building, you can't rent it out, you can't get businesses down there. Hey, let's turn 40 offices into 10 lofts.
It'd be totally sweet to have a high-rise loft in one of those buildings right in the middle of downtown.
Yeah.
It'd be totally cool.
Yeah, a little switcheroo of the plumbing and some walls and electricity. It doesn't take a genius or giant feasible. Let's give these guys $100,000 to see.
Think about it.
Is this feasible?
Can we do it?
Can this happen? No. It's not as difficult as that, I say.
Right.
It depends on ingenuity and creativity.
Right.
And if you got it, you could do it. So.
And if you got people that are willing to, I don't know. Me personally, that's what that's what I'm looking for in an urban center. I'm not looking for what's out in Englewood or in Centerville.
Yeah, there could be some of that,
Well, obviously we need some business, we need some corporate.
But everything
But
doesn't
it can't
have
just
to
all
be.
be. I don't want it to be this weird faux village of like all corporate owned stuff, pretending to be mom and pop or pretending to be local when it's not local.
Yeah, it's like these suburbanites who want to come back and build into the city and develop in the city, or bring that suburban dream or success story or whatever. Like you said, it wasn't like something that was built that was better. and it's just not going to work. That was like what was going on in 1980. Like that was happening. Centerville was happening in 1980, but that whole like kind of building model of suburbia is so played, and people. Another thing they're unwilling to talk about suburbia is as a kid. I know there's millions of people who are willing to talk about or know this feeling of what a soul-sucking environment that is to kind of grow up in.
Yeah, nothing's really attractive.
Well, that and it's just everything's centered around shopping.
Right.
And if you're not into shopping or sports, you could be out of luck.
Mm-hmm.
You could have some issues finding some connections in the community. And yeah, I just don't. I say, yes, we need to get the commercial vacancy rate, but you can get that rate down without tearing down entire buildings.
Yeah.
Reuse these things. Get creative,
Yeah.
and don't put so many restrictions. I mean, you could have some zoning code changes. That would pretty much do it, you know. So yeah, we can change this from office to residential, business.
Or mixed use.
Yeah, they can do what they want to. Really, they can like say, okay, we'll allow this,
right,
or that.
Right.
So yeah, that's not.
There are options. We don't have to tear everything down. It'd be nice to maintain some sense of history, some sense of Dayton being a unique place. I mean, granted, all cities in the United States have similar looking neighborhoods with Victoria, blah blah blah. But we want to kind of hold on to that, and if we want to make Dayton, this great city again, and we want to be known for something, let's be known for being cool and progressive and trying out new ideas instead of just tearing stuff down and trying to stay with the old ways of thinking about using space.
Yeah.
I mean, we need common spaces, we need open green spaces, and we need, spaces to have amenities for people who want to live in a city, want to live downtown. The grocery store options are pretty crappy. You got to drive probably, 20 minutes in either, north or south to get to a nice grocery store where you can get some really good, produce and things like that, and organic foods and things like that. People want that. We shouldn't have to, it goes back to our problem of being dependent on cars so much. Cities are supposed to be confined. You're supposed to have everything that people need.
There's a critical time, and I think it's just incumbent upon people to speak out, whether, they either way, Let
the city leaders know. How do you feel about that?
Are we going to turn downtown into? Does downtown need to be the Fairfield Commons? In order,
I don't want to go there. I don't want to go to Fairfield Commons. I don't go there, and I don't want downtown to look like that either, because then I won't want to go there either.
Yeah, it'll be.
It's not attractive.
There will be no sidewalks. That'll be the first thing they have to get rid of all the sidewalks, because pedestrians aren't allowed in the suburbs.
So what do you think? Give us your opinions. We gave ours.
Yeah, leave your comments. We're willing to open our traps up and talk about things on a regular basis. Be willing to yourself. It doesn't hurt. It won't hurt people, and you'll only get bigger and better from the entire experience. So. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
We always enjoy it.
Click like and share the video on Facebook. Share it on YouTube, wherever. I don't know where you go. I don't know how you share videos. Do it.
Click, you go click, you go click.
Share,
you go click.
share. Like.
Share these videos with your friends. Share these videos with your friends. Share these videos with your friends. Please, I'm begging you, share these videos. Share these videos.
You guys
we can't
don't share the
afford
video, he'll never
we can't
shut
afford paper boys, and we can't get any way to get our things out. We need you to click. We need you to share. It's very important, and we really appreciate all your views and all your shares. Nonetheless, up to this time, you're wonderful, you're beautiful. We want to kiss all of you, except when we get to you right in person. And some of you
we'll
are
kiss
like,
our images of you in our minds.
Yes.
That are pretty.
Thank you, darling.
Sorry.
You've been very wonderful. And we end it now.